here. Go ahead and make yourself at home.
Who let the camera in there?
Oh, this is a documentary film crew.
They're not filming our meetings.
Well, it would be a pretty dull documentary if they didn't, Bob.
Okay, I'm not talking political strategery in front of a camera. All right, it's political suicide. No, I refuse.
Okay, but listen, sorry. Actually, they're gonna do us a deal on our TV ads, so I really need them. We need them. So, hey, wait a minute. Hey, you, who is this guy? With the boom thing, that's not the same one from last week. The one last week had really big arms. Yes, I've had relationships with coworkers before. Just with coworkers, not necessarily candidates every time. I mean, I don't think that had anything to do with the campaigns not working. Hey!
I am not gonna stand here and have my reputation skewered by a couple of camera jockeys filming me behind my back.
That would be your reputation as a hard ass or a right-of-right Republican who gets along with no one.
People love me. Why does he have to be in here?
Ted, he's paying everyone's salary.
A political contributor shouldn't have this kind of access to a candidate.
He's just sitting in, Bob.
That's pretty unorthodox.
No, it's not. And besides, he's not going to say anything any more offensive than you will.
Let's get a few things straight. First of all, don't ask me about political strategy, because I ain't going to tell you. I'm not going to reveal trade secrets. Number two, don't ask me about my personal life. It's none of your business. And don't expect me to say anything about John Haley behind his back. It's not ethical. And don't even think about spinning your liberal bias into this documentary, all right? You may be watching me through that camera lens, but I'm watching you right back through that camera lens. And viewfinder.
Oh, there you are.
Hello! Hi, darling. How are you?
Oh, good.
Oh, I can see the camera crew's already started and I'm such a mess.
Oh, it's okay. Well, come on in. Make yourself comfortable. This is Bob Richards. He's our Republican.
Well, that's a cheery introduction. Oh, trying to get us off on the right foot. Bob the Republican, I'm Ray the Democrat.
Ray, pleasure to meet you. Hey, listen, I noticed you have a little bit of a lisp. It's okay. When I was a boy, I had a lisp too. It was all right until they started calling me Little Lispy Pants. And when it got to that point, my daddy would take me out to the shed and beat me every time I got a little lispy. Now, he would give me lashes until I could say, Sally sells seashells by the seashore without lisping 10 times in a row. And that cured me.
I don't lisp.
Oh, I'm not trying to embarrass you. Look, I know you lived in San Francisco. All right, now you may have absorbed some of them mannerisms. Now I'm just trying to help you not come off as gay.
Look, now that we're all here, I'll go get John. John.
Are my advisors here?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let the epic journey commence.
Great, John. This is Bob and this is Ray.
Bob, so great to finally meet you face to face.
Likewise, Mr. Haley. I'm looking forward to helping you win this election.
And we will. Ray, so great to finally have you on our team, bringing your wisdom and your minority perspective to the table.
Great. Everyone ready?
John, I don't think it's a good idea to let this camera crew in here and stay and tape all this.
Bob, we have nothing to hide. We are making history. The days between now and Election Day will be immortalized by their documentation, and we will humbly play our parts.
Okay, gentlemen. If we're going to get the Democratic-Republican Union Party on the ballot in California, we're going to need 900,000 signatures in the next 30 days. Given that our party is only 2 years old and has done absolutely nothing to help us whatsoever with our campaign, I think that we should run independent. But Ted and John don't want to do that, so we're going to give it a try. That means that we're going to have to do a serious amount of fundraising, and we need to start it immediately.
San Diego's a hotbed of disgruntled rich Republicans. They got a lot of money and they would go third party in a hot second.
Would those be the Republicans that want to outlaw abortion on religious grounds, or those vying for a new world order?
They're the Republicans with money, right?
Bob, what kind of politics would we have to favor in order to get their support?
Fiscal conservatives, small government, less spending.
Oh, that's a winning platform. Let's just ride in on George Bush's coattails.
Oh, small government, less spending.
John, we can do small government, less spending, right?
I don't think we're asking the right question.
Of course it's the right question. If you want to get these conservatives to support you, you're gonna have to suck up to them.
The right question, Sara, is the one that, when asked, inspires more love in all of us. Only love can heal the socio-political divide, open closed hearts to be receptive to new ideas, and let go of the way things used to be. Everyone is being driven by fear right now, which is a formula for anarchy. What matters most is that we inspire the citizens to love one another.
Oh, right. Guys, John is going on a platform of uniting the extremes across both sides of the aisle.
Sara, I don't even want to think about them as extremes. These people are simply imprisoned by divisive attitudes.
That's cute.
Right. Okay, well, at any rate, our platform is uniting Democrats and Republicans behind policies that free them from their divisiveness. Hey, you know what? It's kind of a JFK campaign.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Oh, God, JFK was a horrible president. We need to be more like Reagan.
Oh, Reagan gagged me.
Well, he beat the Russians. Something JFK failed to do, I might add.
Well, that's because the CIA killed him.
When the CIA killed him, idiot, it's the Cubans.
How do you know?
Look, it doesn't matter. Reagan survived his assassination attempt. That's the important part. Allowed him to put the Reds out to pasture. Reagan was a great president, case closed.
In the process of outspending the Soviets, he managed to create the mess that we have in the Middle East now, destroy middle-class America and education. That is not a president to celebrate.
Well, then who is?
Well, Bill Clinton was a good president.
Oh, my God. Blowjob Bill.
Oh.
Good God. That man was a disgrace to the White House. He was the worst thing to ever sit in the Oval Office.
No, the current president gets that medal.
Oh, a Bush basher. You know what? That man has more balls than most presidents we have ever had.
Yes, and he likes to swing them in front of the faces of our world's leaders, not to mention our own Congress.
You are so blind, Ray. He has kept this country safe for the last 7 years by taking the war to them. He has kept you safe, and you want to castrate him.
He lied to this country to go to war. He and Cheney should both be impeached. He has doubled our national deficit. Our economy is through the floor. He would kill a baby seal to get a gallon of gasoline, and he has destroyed our international reputation.
He stands on principle, something few people do. You know what? People attack him because they have no integrity of their own. He intimidates them.
He has no integrity. He is the pawn of big businesses, oil tycoons, and world banks who are trying to destroy us so it's easier to take over.
Guys, let's just say that we're more like FDR.
Oh, yeah, let's say we're more like the father of American socialism. Jesus, God, that man ruined this country.
No, Bob, the Great Depression ruined this country. FDR bailed us out.
The war bailed us out, Ray. FDR gave us the raw deal.
You are so out of touch. FDR was one of the most beloved presidents in U.S. history.
Communist. I'll tell you who's a great president. Abraham Lincoln. Freed the slaves, kicked some ass, and yes, I do still have some Confederate friends who are a little pissed off at him. But you know what? Even they have to admit how strong he governed.
Did you know that Abraham Lincoln imprisoned thousands of people without warrant or trial? Kind of like, Guantanamo?
Yes, Ray. It's called war. Something few people in this country understand anymore.
Can't we just, forget about what president we're like?
I like Jimmy Carter.
Yes. Lincoln united this country through war, not diplomacy. Yeah. I see John more as a diplomat.
But I'll tell you what, John's going to be a wartime president, like it or not. So I might as well model him after a war president.
George Washington. This is a new beginning for this country. If my candidacy is like any other, it would be like George Washington's.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay, so at this fundraiser, we're going to promise cross-platform reform, cut the fat of bureaucracy, stimulate the economy.
It's this socialist government that's driving the economy down the toilet.
Oh, well, I guess the record high spending, including the war in Iraq, has nothing to do with it.
Fiscal conservatives would like it if we would pay down the debt. That really got Perot a long way.
Listen, honey, there is no way we are going to be able to pay down a $10 trillion debt.
We could raise taxes.
Oh, Jesus, God.
What? A voice just told me that if there is a debt to be paid, we must pay it. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and render unto God that which is God's.
So, do you mean we should raise taxes to pay off the debt?
If I found the money in the mouth of a fish, I would say no, Ray, but if I found the money in the tax returns of the American people, then yes.
John, it's not a winning platform to tell people that you're going to raise their taxes.
Well, I'm not posturing for the people, Sarah. I'm honestly giving them solutions to this country's problems.
But you're never going to be able to raise their taxes unless you don't tell them about it first.
Listen, trickle-down economics works.
Do you mean voodoo economics? I mean, that's what's put us in our current state of economic prosperity.
Would you explain to Negative Nancy here that all we need to do is cut taxes for the rich and the businesses? They're the ones with the money. They can stimulate the economy. It's that simple.
Look, people are suffering because of high gas prices, repoed homes, and the falling dollar. I mean, people that need help don't need tax breaks. They need social programs.
Handouts.
Lifelines.
Look, cut taxes.
Spend more.
Gentlemen, we can do both.
What about the debt?
Shut up! Maybe we can hook the donors with social issues.
You know what? We could promise to ban gay marriage.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, let me guess. You're a liberal, so your little handbook says that you gotta fight for the queers.
Bob, that's offensive.
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot. You lived in San Francisco, so some of them are probably your best friends.
Yes, Bob, and you live in Texas, lynching country. But guess what? You're in California now, where we gays have rights.
Well, I suspected Ray was homosexual. My gaydar's just fine. I'm just from the don't ask, don't tell school of sexuality demarcation. I just didn't realize when I took this job I was going to share such tight quarters with a homosexual. And one minute you're trying to make your point, next minute there's a homo in your chair and you got no place to sit.
We should have never been there in the first place. We need to bring our troops home now.
Yeah, why don't we do that, Ray, and leave another legacy of broken promises and grow up to be future terrorists? I don't think so.
John, the war is very unpopular. What we need to do is say something very vague about a gradual reduction in troops, maybe one up the Democrats by shortening the time frame.
It may not be my fault we're in Iraq, but it will be my responsibility. I want to focus on the government and not the battle. It is a united society that these people need to feel at a cultural level. They are suffering from the very same divisive state of mind that we Americans are. If we could heal that, the war would snuff itself out. If I could only get all the warlords in the Middle East to come to Disneyland and go on the ride, it's a small world after all, and then when they get off that ride, ask them honestly, do they still want to ethnically cleanse each other off the face of the earth? And again, the problem would be that the boats are only about 4 people by 8 rows. That's 36. There's more than 36 warlords in the Middle East. And then I don't want them sitting on each other's laps. I don't think they'd like that. And then I really don't want them in separate boats because you have that us-them dichotomy again.
I think they might find some of the ethnic animatronics a little offensive. Disney.
It's a world of races, a world of creeds. It's a world of jihads and enemies. If we turn the other cheek, we can learn to become meek. If we love each other all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world.
Keychain.
No, stop. Just don't talk about Iraq and the war anymore. Don't do that. Just focus on domestic policy. We'll get you on the ballot for California, okay? Don't do that anymore.
Well, I'll tell you about Sara. She is smart. That is one smart cookie. I mean, we've tangled, but she is good at what she does. She got a lot of spunk. She's real aggressive. But I'll tell you what, between you and me, she is wound tighter than a Swiss watch. I swear to God, that girl needs to be taken down to the Popeyes chicken, fed some brown liquor, and bent over a chicken fryer. Oh yeah, I know exactly the cowboy to do it too. She needs to come to the Bob Richards rodeo. Well, you ain't got to keep this, are you?